Putin rails against cancel culture and suggests teaching gender fluidity to kids is a crime against humanity.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday took aim at cancel culture and supporters of transgender rights, suggesting that teaching gender fluidity is a crime against humanity, while stating that Russia should maintain its spiritual values and historical traditions, per The Washington Post. Cancel culture is the idea that people too often pile onto others for bad behavior, as defined by Insider digital culture reporter Rachel E. Greenspan. Putin on Thursday also said teaching children that a boy can become a girl and vice versa verges on being a crime against humanity, while suggesting that supporters of transgender rights were calling for the cessation of basic things such as mother, father, family or gender differences. The Russian president, who vies to project a macho image and is widely viewed as an authoritarian, has been condemned by other world leaders and top human rights groups over his anti-LGBTQ policies and rhetoric. Human Rights Watch has decried the law as a classic example of political homophobia, while emphasizing that LGBTQ youth in Russia face formidable barriers to enjoying their fundamental rights to dignity, health, education, information, and association. In July, Europe's top human rights court ruled that Russia was violating the European Convention on Human Rights by not legally recognizing same-sex marriages. We all must defend the rights of LGBTQI individuals so they can live and love openly without fear, whether it's Chechnya or Cameroon or anywhere, Biden said.
This post received a score of 22,000, with an upvote ratio of 90%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The guy who has journalists who publish things he doesn't like murdered and political opponents who speak out against him murdered or jailed is railing against cancel culture.
He wants to blame something for Russia's depopulation that isn't COVID or a life of crushing misery.
Or blame himself. A few years ago, 40% of Russians who did not approve of Putin were interested in leaving the country, and their populations slowly but steadily decreased since 2017.
Pretty sure it's been steadily declining since at least the early 90s.
Brain drain. The U.S. has the same issue with young Midwesterners fleeing to the coasts.
I guess Putin would know a thing or two about crimes against humanity. He's got some experience in that department.
He knows a lot about canceling people too.
Cancel culture in the US looks quaint compared to Putin's version. He cancels you with torture, forced labor, and poison.
People also cancel themselves through windows at an alarming rate. Regrettable. Also canceling themselves off of balconies.
With 2 self-inflicted cancellations to the back of their head.
Epstein didn't cancel himself.
What he actually said is this.
Monstrous newspeak about gender in the West, those who risk saying that men and women still exist, and that this is a biological fact, are virtually ostracized in the West, Putin said, calling the situation a total phantasmagoria. This is not to mention things that are simply monstrous, he added, like when children are taught from an early age that a boy can easily become a girl and vice versa. In fact, they are indoctrinating them into the alleged choices that are supposedly available to everyone, removing parents from the equation and forcing the child to make decisions that can ruin their lives. This is borderline crime against humanity, all under the guise of progress, cancel culture and reverse racism. Another Western practice that reminds Putin of the early Soviet days was the push for social justice through affirmative action and cancel culture. The fight against racism is a necessary and noble cause, but in the modern cancel culture, it turns into reverse discrimination, reverse racism, Putin said.
It seems a lot of people who commented on this are missing the point.
Imprisoning and torturing your political critics should be a crime against humanity.
But murdering people with polonium-210 is totally fine?
Novichok has entered the chat.
Dude literally permanently cancels people he doesn't agree with. He doesn't get a say in this.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.